Luar ka Batesi TV, ka umdi basyam bak penjasliang. Rupa Premium, Meghalaya.
Sorkar Jylla kelapan Jingkheiñ nagi Ophisar Kiba Khmih yaki Tnat Treikam baki ban. Kenang baskautu yaki rukam pentulun yaki jing pentrai haki Tnat baki ban. Ha ke jingkran berkilat patai kubor. Hadin balawai ke kabinet retreat ke belong ha ke khan riu terik ukla lengkot arjar arpun riu. Umenteri rangba ke Jylla konrat ke sangma. Uliatu ba ke jing penlong yakani ke jingalang. Kalong ban phaidin biang syaki sipau tali ki kam. Kiba ke Sorkar kelakut jingmut yaki balabu ha ke vision arjar apupra bad haka vision arjar laipu ar. Uliatu baka Sorkar kela persyang ban pensai pajba yaki kam ki baka Sorkar kela le ban kenjo syaka yok akot ke $10 million bad ka $100 million haus nam arjar laipu ar.
So friends, as you're aware that this is the third cabinet retreat that we are having, and in this cabinet retreat what we do is that we have all the departments, the officials and directors of all the departments present. We have all the BDOs present, and we have all obviously the cabinet ministers and senior officials who are present out here. Every cabinet retreat has got a different theme to it, but the general objective of the cabinet retreat is that while every official or minister is involved in his or her duties, it is important to align with the larger vision of the state government and to understand what every other department is doing. For example, PHE department needs to know and be aware of what are the development programs that are taking place in water resources, in soil and water conservation, in mining department, in forest department, because it is aligned with water. Similarly, education department needs to also understand what sports and youth affairs is doing, because they are related with youth. The health department needs to also understand what CNRD is doing, because it has to do with women and women empowerment and with the health of the women. So therefore all of these are connected. Until the departments are not talking to each other, or at least understanding what is the larger objective and mission of the government, then somewhere along the line we are missing out on the opportunities that we could have if we were to understand what the larger goals and activities of different departments are. So that's the larger perspective. In this cabinet retreat, what we have done though is that we are aligning people's vision with the 10 commitments and the 10 opportunities that we have laid down in our Vision 2028 and Vision 2032. We're trying to explain to people that while we are achieving or working towards the $10 billion economy and $16 billion in 2032, how does tourism play a role? How does road department and PWD department play a role? And while we're doing all of this, our 10 commitments to ensure that there is housing for all, there is a caring economy, there is a proper service delivery mechanism. How do we ensure that these commitments that we have laid are also achieved while we move towards an economic agenda of achieving a $10 billion economy? So it is important for block officers, important for directors, important for ministers to understand what each department is doing. So for 2 days, we're going to be sharing the knowledge, the information, the schemes, the programs of every department. And the most important part is that the officials are free to ask any question. The officials are free to give any suggestions. It's like an open, access medium where officials can give ideas, because sometimes the best ideas come from the grassroots. So we are sitting here and we might not understand, but the block officer who's going through day-to-day activities at the grassroots knows better that maybe if we can just change the mechanism of how we are doing the work, by just changing one particular rule, can actually change the entire functioning of the department and the delivery of the services. So I think this is what we try to do. We of course unofficially call it Team Meghalaya, and we feel that Team Meghalaya should meet once in a while, talk to each other, discuss the problems of the state, align our visions, align our goals, and see how different departments can work together to achieve the larger purpose of taking the state forward and giving better services to the people of our state. So they have seen that. But then they'll say, well, you know what, so that's great. But then we have seen that tourists normally suffer because they don't have a guide who can guide them at the grassroots level. And so suddenly we are doing all of these things, and a BDO will be able to, who's at the grassroots level, who meets people day-to-day basis, tells me that there's an opportunity in this. where we can provide jobs. So can the government give a training and have a special scheme for this? I'm just giving an example what we're doing. So grassroots feedback is one of the objectives of this cabinet retreat. But as I said, the larger objective is really to align the forces, align the different departments to work together to achieve a particular goal and a purpose. Everything is an expenditure. But if you ask me, this is an investment. So therefore, you can look at it from any other point of view. I've seen that criticism is always there. I think it's important for us to see the larger goal and larger perspective. The fact, as I said today, that sitting here, all departments will talk to each other and understand what's happening, the larger goal and perspective, I think is really the main outcome. Let me share with you one very, very important outcome, and then you can be the judge to tell me whether this is a waste or this is actually productive. So in the first cabinet retreat we had in Sora, the education department gave us a long presentation on ad hoc schools and ad hoc teachers and SSA teachers, including the fact that we are spending close to about 1100 crores on grant in aid, including the fact that government of Meghalaya is one of the few states in the country that supports private schools. In fact, we have about 4,000 private institutes who we support, whereas any other state in the northeast, the numbers are either 0 or even less than 50. So we are really supporting private schools. But yet, the problems are there in terms of the large number of schools we have, the teacher-student ratios being very, very skewed. So this presentation was given to us in the cabinet retreat when we sat there. And we sat there and looked at those numbers. Every single cabinet minister, every single officer is looking at this saying that this is amazing. I mean, how can we be functioning like this? And we took a decision at that moment. We said, we are going to resolve this in this year 2025. We have to take this decision. And we took that decision, and that's what drove us to decide before Christmas that before this calendar year ends, I want the solution. I pushed the education minister, pushed the commission secretary. They met these SSA teachers, ad hoc teachers multiple times, and we said, we're working on a deadline out here. We need to get this done. CM has given us a direction. The cabinet has given us a direction. The cabinet retreat has decided. And we're so happy to tell you that we have reached to that conclusion. So now, if that cabinet retreat had not taken place, and we had not decided it then, maybe we would be still struggling with this issue in front of us. So that's how things work. And therefore, I leave it to you to decide whether these kind of things are important or not. And I'm sure that as the more you listen to the discussions that happen there, you'll realize, and you can take the feedback from officials, that there's some things. I wish I could put it live on Facebook. People would really see what's happening. And we shared some numbers today regarding presentation of how file movements have reduced. So a lot of people don't understand. I'll just give an example to you that, when files are moved. So what happens? I'll just give you an example of my CM Special Development Fund. When I took over, there were roughly about, I may be wrong by a few numbers here and there, but about 15 to 20 people through which the CMSDF scheme, once I approve, had to go through to be sanctioned and the check to be released to the beneficiary. That process used to take anything between 1 year to 2 years to complete. I reformed the whole thing myself and I said, there's no need to do this. Budget has been given. And hence, from Chief Minister's office, it goes to the Secretariat, my same Secretariat. They process it and check goes straight to DC. With that reform, today, a CM SDF scheme can be sanctioned in 24 hours. That's the difference that we made. Now, we were just looking at the presentation and we showed to every department, we showed them that most of the departments, even today, there are about average of about 15 to 20 people through which the file has to move through. Though the file movement has today reduced from 15 days to 10 days to 15 days on average, today to less than 2.7 days for one file to be cleared on average. So we clear about close to, I was looking at it, about 80,000 files. Last year we cleared 80,000 files. And all those 80,000 files, average clearing time was 2.7 days. Earlier it used to be 10 days plus. And this is reform has taken place because we have now been able to introduce technology and everybody's on e-proposals and the projects move on time. Now, how do we ensure that this reduces from 2.7 to below 1? And that can be done by ensuring that each department works towards removing the individuals who need not be part of the process. For example, Government of India only 5 to 6 people see the file before it's approved. So 5 officials go through it. So in our system also, where it's necessary, of course, we have to, but wherever it can be removed, it should be removed. I'm just giving you one small example of one presentation I just saw just now. Now this is going to help every department understand that for the benefit of the people and to ensure that the government works efficiently, the number of tables and the number of people involved in file clearance needs to be rationalized and needs to be made efficient. This is the outcome of cabinet retreat that we see today. I leave it to you to decide whether that's good or that's bad, or whether it's waste of money, or whether we're trying to actually achieve better efficiency and better governance for the people. Yes, it will be. It will have to go up, and because of the impact of the decision of the ad hoc and SSA teachers, there will be some financial impact on the grant and aid. That's the reason why we have also told everybody that it will be applicable from April, because we have to then include it in the budget. So yes, it will, and of course right now I'm not, I cannot share the numbers with you right now, though I have the numbers in my mind, but it will not be appropriate. Once everything has been done, paperwork is complete, at the appropriate time we will share, but amount will go up.